Hello and welcome back to Sherwood Park Toyota. Today we're looking at a Toyota Sienna LE in the color black. Let's take a look. Starting up front, underneath the hood, you'll find the gas component of the hybrid energy system. It is a 2.5-liter 4-cylinder engine, automatic transmission, gets up to 245 horsepower, 262 pound-foot of torque, towing capacity up to 3,500 pounds. Up front, you've got your LED headlights, customary daytime running lights, and of course the blue Toyota hybrid logo. Onto the side here, we've got 17-inch alloy wheels. Then side mirrors include blind spot monitoring. And as you move back, you'll find all of your rear windows come with factory tinting. Up top, you've got black roof rails. On the back end here, on the right-hand side, you have your LE hybrid trim level badge. Left-hand side, you have your all-wheel drive badge. And then directly underneath of your logos, all the way down here, is your backup camera. To open up your cargo space, reach next to the camera, press the button, and lift upwards. So inside you have both second and third row seating. Currently the third row is stored away in the stow and go style, which means that it is tucked down here underneath of this rear mat space. We'll talk about these guys in just a moment here. For your second row seating, you have a 40-20-40 split, meaning you have this independent middle section that functions separately from either side. There are some independent controls for this guy, including these little straps, but we'll talk about those when we get up front into that section. For your third row, this has a 60-40 split. You can see it a little bit right there on the right-hand side, meaning there's a larger section on the left and a smaller section on the right. So as you can see, there is the stow and go style, as we also mentioned already, which means that you have three positions. One is your seats upright, like how you have the second row right now. Second position is laying these down flat by just flipping them down, which creates an elevated flat surface and leaves this whole back space here as an extra deep storage trough. Or the third position is how we have it now, which is folded all the way down, which creates this large flat storage space all the way across the back. All of these different arrangements are achievable using just the 1 and 2 strap and handle, and there is a diagram explaining how to go about creating each of these setups. On the back of the seats, there are also hooks you can use for additional storage space. Then on top of here, we have the Sienna branded rubber mat cargo liner. This guy does a couple of different jobs. First off, it covers all the entirety of the back of this floor space, and when this is a deep trough, because you have your seats upright, it will fit perfectly into this trough section. So when it is in either one of these setups, it helps to provide a little bit of extra layering to help protect your vehicle from damage from your cargo, which also protects the cargo from damage from the vehicle. Secondly, it is much easier to simply slip this out and remove it to wipe or clean any dirt or debris off of it, versus everything clinging to that typical carpeted interior that likes to stick to everything. For your third row occupants, they do have access to their own cup holder and their own charger spaces, as well as plenty of their own feet and headroom. There's an additional little cup holder on the other side as well here. We do also have the Sienna carpeted mat in the back, this little package here in this factory packaging, which means that currently we have the Sienna rubber mats installed in the unit. All new units come with both rubber and carpeted sets. To close up your space back here, you can reach up to your handle on the right-hand side and just pull this back down into its starting position. Next, let's go take a look at the inside. To open up your doors, you got a couple different options. There is a button on your key fob. Other option is to pull on the handle here. Third option is to just press this little button. You'll find that the door will automatically slide open for you. Inside, your interior upholstery is the gray cloth with gray stitching. We also have this almost tweed heathered effect in the middle panels of your seats. For this area here, as we said, this is a 40-20-40 split, meaning this middle section here is independent. It also means that this can be fully removed. So there are, again, 1 and 2 straps as well as a third. They have the numbers labeled on them, and there are instructions included with the vehicle explaining how to go about it. But basically, if you don't want to have this middle section seat in there, you're able to fold it up and store it away in your rear cargo area, which gives you extra clearance space between here. For either side of these, if you have this removed or even if you have it in the middle, you do have armrests both on the inside and the outsides of the seats, as you can see here. Down below underneath is where you have your handle adjustments so that you can move your seat around. One is to lay it flat so that you can extend it for cargo space up top, or the other one down below is for moving it along these tracks. So you can see the tracks go all the way up here and they go quite far back for these seats, which gives a large amount of space for adjustment, either for giving people ease of access to get into the third row, or for simply moving around to give yourself more space for your cargo needs. Now, looking up overhead, there is a third zone air conditioning control panel. This is for your second and third row occupants to control their own temperature, fan speed, and mode. This can be controlled from up front. We'll look at that when we get up there. On the back of your front passenger and your front driver seats, you've got pouch storage. Back of the console, you have these chargers up top and then cup holders down below. Then lastly, inside of the windows, it's a little hard to see from the angles, but there is this interior sunshade. You can see the little tab down below. You can see it inside of this door here. It's a little hard to make an example of, but if you've seen some of our other videos, we show it in almost every one. This guy can slide upwards, locks into place on these little hooks up top, and helps to provide a little bit of shade to the eyes of anybody in this rear space without impeding on their view. And then as you can see, it unrolls here and goes completely flush in with the door frame itself. Lastly, talking about closing up the doors, we have those same two methods we talked about before, which is pressing the button or pulling on the handle. Inside of the door itself, there is another handle here. You can give this guy a little tap and it will close or open the doors. And then lastly, if you look directly underneath of the rear handles on the door itself, you'll find a little button down below. This is on both sides. So right beneath of the handle, you have this little button. If you give this guy a press, you'll find the door closes itself up once again. Now inside of your driver's door here, power windows for front and back, window lock, power lock system, side mirror controls, tons of storage space. Inside the driver has power adjustable front seats, back, front, and up, down. Hood release latch on the bottom left-hand corner, as well as your gas release. You also have the power door off, which means that the doors can only be opened either from this little control panel up top overhead of your rear view mirror or from the outside. That way everybody inside is not able to just open and close doors all willy-nilly. Then on top of that, traction control, automatic headlamps, heated steering wheel control, dash brightness, odometer trip, and a little storage shelf. Taking a closer look at the steering wheel, it is black leather with black stitching. Then left-hand side, controls for your dash display, hands-free communication, and volume control. Right-hand side, radio controls on the bottom, adaptive cruise control up top, which includes both sonar and lane departure. In the middle here is your infotainment display screen. This is where you go to access much of the information about your daily driving experience. Currently you're looking at your customizable home screen. Under that is your menu. So here you have access to your audio, phone, app, projection, info, climate, setup, and display. Display is all of the things you would need for the screen itself. Then you have your climate display. So this has access to a couple of additional things, such as your eco heat cool setting, and additional options as well for the rest of the vehicle itself. And then the setup is all of your specifics beyond that. So everything from your Bluetooth, audio, phone, voice, vehicle apps, clock language, home screen customizing, theme color settings, etc. Then audio listening, AM, FM, satellite radio. We have full Bluetooth connectivity, optional adapters for the USB. All the way at the bottom is your optional navigation. You can choose to connect that through Toyota Connected Services. All along the right-hand side is all of your radio controls, tune scroll on the bottom right, volume control on the bottom left. You've got your four-ways and push start ignition to the left-hand side, as well as a little USB charger down below. Middle section here is your climate control center. So dual climate control up front. Currently everything is synced up, which means that the driver, front passenger will have the same temperatures at all times, but you can turn off that syncing, or you can have it sync up with the rear so that you're able to control that third air conditioning control panel in the back. You can also turn it all the way off so that everybody can function independently. Lots of options to make sure everybody's comfortable at all times. You can also simply control the rear independently if you so please, so that they in the back can have a different temperature from what's up front without having to do it themselves. Defrost for front and rear windshield right in the middle, and then on the outside corners, you have 3 variant levels for heated seats, driver, and your front passenger. Then you've got this little shelf design, goes the whole way across the front dash. There's a little divider right in the middle there, which means if you place an item on one side, it's not going to accidentally slide all the way down to the other out of reach. Middle section here, you've got your gear shift, parking brake, you do have the parking brakes there, EV and driving modes, cup holder spaces, as well as storage. There are little flip up and flip away locations too. More storage down below, including a 12-volt adapter. Then a console all the way at the back, Press the button to have it open up. Super deep storage all the way in. You'll notice a couple of chargers here, and there's a little cutout as well, which means that when you have the lid closed, if you have cords coming out, they're not going to get squished. And this right here, long flat space, is a perfect location for placing a phone if you're using the charging cord option. Down below there is a lockable glove box. Up overhead, you have this little space, almost looks like sunglasses compartment, but it's a little too small. If you press it, you'll find another little mirror pops out. This is a great little guy because it means you can keep sure that this is dedicated only to the use of keeping an eye on traffic, because this is specifically designed for keeping an eye on the passengers you have in the back. Then overhead, you have your overhead lighting controls, and on either side are the controls for your power doors. Thanks again, folks, for joining us on this full video tour for this Toyota Sienna LE in the color black. It is located here at Sherwood Park Toyota at 31 Automall Road in Sherwood Park, Alberta. We can also be reached at 780-306-7703. And remember, life is full of choices. Let us be yours.